I was a little bit nervous of welding this into place completely before we had the engine in, because I didn't know what would happen when we got the engine into place. If we needed to move it forward or backwards, what needed to exactly happen. So what I did, just lined it up, ground down the pieces of bare metal where it needed to be welded on, and then Brendan just burdened it in. Cleaning the engine block, I would say, is pretty necessary when you put it in here. It's one of those things that really helps you get to know what your engine looks like before you put it in the vehicle. You're not gonna have the ability to see as many things as you can when it's outside on an engine stand. So we got an aluminum oil pan, new pickup tube, and a bunch of other new parts that went underneath. I'm super excited for everything that's new going onto this build. This Hemi is gonna be absolutely killer by the time it's done, with a lot of brand new parts and just a lot of time going into just everything about this swap. Yeah, I can call them at noon then when they're open, but I'm just saying it's not gonna work, because this is gonna way interfere with this. I don't care what kind of adapter brackets we make, because if we push this throttle body out too far, then that's gonna start
interfering with the intake tube in the radiator. So we got all these new parts, all these new pulleys, all the new timing cover, water pump, alternator, AC compressor, and we just found out using the last piece of the truck, the balancer, now it doesn't fit. So now we gotta go spend some more time, spend some more money getting the new balancer for the Charger, and then we can get this whole engine assembly finally done at the front.
This might already interfere with the intake tube, because this is high. On the Charger, you don't have a pulley up this high.
Correct. We know that.
The intake tube, the throttle body comes out to like here, and the intake elbow comes to here.
Correct.
So this is gonna with that intake tube right away. We had the Ram timing cover as well as the Ram water pump. Wouldn't work. So that was one thing we ran into, that it just entirely wouldn't work. Huge shout out to Yvonne over at Susquehanna as well as the rest of the team. They've kind of hooked us up with all the parts that we need for this thing. We basically call, they get it overnighted and delivered up here to us. So we wouldn't be able to do this without them, especially with all these random parts we have to order. Jeeps, I mean, there's Charger. There was a couple parts underneath that we don't even know where they came from. They just gave us the Mopar part and said to order them. So basically having her piece them all together and finding parts that aren't really too common, getting them overnighted here is a huge help. So we've got a brand new aluminum timing cover off of a Charger. If we would've got the Charger engine initially, could have got all this stuff with it. However, Charger engines were a lot more expensive and a lot lot higher mileage.
So just a little bit of love, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, this is brand new, everything here.
New timing cover, new water pump, new idler bracket, that'll be there.
Is this supposed to stay like that?
Yeah, that's how attention goes.
So with the torque, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a supercharger option.
That's where it would have went.
Yep.
So we just have to unbolt this and put the supercharger on.
Good. Doesn't have to go much.
Uh-oh, it's on backwards.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Hot dog.
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Honestly, it was a lot of work to get us here due to the whole timing cover and water pump debacle, and now we still have a couple more parts on order, including the standoff here for a new pulley. As you can see, if we were to put the pulley back here, it doesn't line up here. So we got to get the standoff for that, as well as there's some heater core lines that actually go in different locations than the truck Hemi. So those are on order right now too.
There's a lot of time figuring all this stuff.
A lot of stuff, yeah. I'm figuring out how everything runs. Hey. We're modifying the AC compressor right now, but
Matt, we spent a lot of money, but now our Charger intake fits.
Yeah.
For swap life, you just got to understand, it's going to take time. You're not going to be putting this engine into that vehicle and it's just going to go right away. There's going to be issues. There's going to be missing things. There's things that you're just going to have to figure out. Getting it all together, learning, that's the best part about it. I'm learning so much on this whole Hemi swap to put in the JL. I'm like, it's really cool, but like all I say is, take your time, you'll get there, and you'll enjoy your swap when it's done.
What are we doing here?
Putting this new adapter on the bell housing.
Why?
So we can adapt up the Hemi to the JL trans.
But why do we need that thing then there on there?
Because it doesn't bolt up to the Hemi, that's why.
So the flex plate bolts onto the engine, and that'll all kind of, but that goes in, there's like a spacer in there.
Yeah, you gotta take out
pull out.
Yeah, you gotta pull the factory one out, which is gonna be a little bit of fun.
A lot of bit of fun, like everything has been.
We'll just cut it out, chop it out, figure it out.
That's a lot of outs.
Like I usually do. And then get this thing on, and we can have a Hemi with a JL trans, and then have a Hemi and a JL.
Okay.
$25 was a good number.
I think that torque converter is in the right way too.
In the right way?
Yeah, like it's fully in.
I think so. I hope so.
So there's gonna be a plate on this in between yet too. So that needs to go in it.
Mm-hmm. It'll go.
Torque converter can't go too far in, can it?
No. It might pull out a little bit.
Yeah, we did have the same flex plate.
Yep, same flex plate.
Did they include bolts?
Nope. Yes, they included. No, yes.
I thought they did.
So we had to modify the slots on the cross member because the Hemi pushes the transmission back just like half an inch. So I'm gonna just drill it out, cut it out, slap it back in the engine, slap it back in the JL, slap it back in something. I can't talk.
Let's do it. What we have left on this is to get this attached to the transmission and transfer case. I'm not really too concerned about that. We can get all the hardware, get it bolted up. We've got a lot of guys helping here, so I'm not really too concerned about that part. One thing I'm a little bit leery on is how the entire coolant system is going to work with this. So the coolant system on the Charger is different than that of the Ram. The Ram basically spouts out here in a couple other places. With the Charger, we had to order new inlet and outlet heater core lines, and I don't really know how those are gonna route into our JL's factory heater core to make sure we have heat and everything working in the Jeep. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go. I'm also a little bit leery of all the lines on the transmission. There's a lot of coolant lines on there that there's kind of not really an answer for. So we're gonna have to deal with that. Wiring, I'm not really too concerned about. We have a lot of other engine dress-up parts, and I don't think the wiring is gonna be too crazy, to be quite honest. Who knows, I might be kicking myself in the butt 2 days from now when we go to wire it and there's a lot more than we need to. But so far, I'm only kind of concerned about the coolant lines and the heater core, just figuring all that out. We're taking the engine off of the engine stand so we can mount it up to the transmission. This is kind of a big moment for both of us. It's been a lot of work on the ground. Now to see both of these kind of morph into one piece, it's gonna be pretty neat, so we're excited.
Are we sure that we have all the parts?
For this backside, yes. We've been calling Mopar about the front side a lot, Susquehanna specifically, so
3 times a day.
I think we're good, yeah.
Okay, here we go. And she's free!
Check the manifold, I just want to be careful. Good?
Seems good.
I'm letting it go where it wants to.
That's fine. Now we can lower it down. Actually, leave it right there. Matt, I'm gonna need my die grinder, an air hose.
A die grinder, what do you need that for?
Oh, we're gonna try to weld it, aren't we? Where's that big nut?
Be careful pushing on that block.
I don't really want to weld that close.
So let's try a different one.
I don't like how close I have to weld. I want to weld in the inside of this, not on the outside, just in case it welds to the crank.
Let's go find another one that fits inside of it.
Okay.
So this sleeve, basically this inside kind of spacer, that needs to be removed. That adapter that we get goes inside of that and acts as this piece. So this piece has to be removed. It's pretty no really easy way, right, Brendan?
Nope.
You kind of just got to do it. So we're gonna weld a nut on the inside so we can push off of the crankshaft and get that pulled out. That's what Brendan's doing right now, making lots of noise. Today's been a good day. Today we're gonna get a lot of work done, right, Brendan?
Sure. That's what you say every day, Matt.
Can't be stuck if it's melted. You can put that in your desk as a souvenir. So we're going with that inwards?
Yep. Wrong hole, Matt. There you go. Nope, down. He said, and we had it right.
That was a joke.
We're missing hardware.
What kind of hardware, Brendan?
3/8 hardware.
Do we need it?
Yes, we need it.
How badly?
Really badly.
What if we don't put it on there?
It's really bad. Even Pat's walking away, that's how bad.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Ooh. Well.
So, you guys are headed to... Eight's the place for the Helper Hardware Store.
Once again, one of our not sponsors. So what's up next? We have to go get some hardware. That's one of the things. We're missing a couple bolts up here for the water pump and the timing cover. We got those measured out with the right kind of thread pitch and everything. We got to source that hardware, which is kind of weird because the front here looks to be metric and then the rear is actually a 3/8/16 bolt that goes into the block. So we got standard metric kind of going on at the same time. We're gonna source some hardware, and then tomorrow or up next, I really hope to get the transmission bolted up onto this engine and get this thing sitting in the Jeep. I think that's gonna be a really big moment for us when we can finally see the way that the Hemi actually looks inside the JL. It's kind of its rough and raw figure right here. It's gonna be dressed up, have the intake manifold, a lot of other hoses going to it, but just to get the general aspect of that being in there, I'm really excited to see that. Okay, so last night we ended up running out and getting some hardware. Got some 3/8/16 bolts for the top, some metric stuff to start putting this adapter on. We got the new flex plate on there with our brand new flex plate bolts and that little spacer ring, which we figured out how to put that on the right way too. So that was kind of fun.
Only took a couple tries. Torque them down, then slide that trans into this.
And then we'll be closer to putting it in the Jeep.
Hopefully. When torquing your flex plate bolts, remember to torque them in a star pattern.
You just like the star shape, don't you? You like stars.
I do love stars.
That's why he did.
No, actually, you're supposed to.
Okay, whatever you want to tell our viewers.
And then when you're done torquing all of them, go in a circle, just make sure you got every single bolt. And then you just keep going because Matt keeps holding it. Matt,
Started.
we are at that stage.
Are you ready, dude?
Yeah.
Engine into the trans. How long has this been?
A while. Too long.
Hang on, bud. Let's get this trans cooler line run up. Ooh, it looks like it doesn't fit. Okay, what do we need to do?
Raise the engine up a little bit.
Raise the engine up?
Yep.
Okay. So this is kind of like a very technical process here, right?
Yeah, take some time.
Okay, I'm gonna go up a little bit. You wanna hold the engine too while I'm doing it? Because it might wanna spin on you. Good?
Yep.
Tell me when. Good?
Keep going. A little more. There we go.
You happy there?
A little happy there. A little more. A little more. There we go. Good.
Good there? Here, I'll come back and help you. What do you need? You make it pretty tight?
Yeah, it's close. There you go. A little more.
Do that again, what you just did. Pinch this. I'm gonna go in so at least that dowel pin catches. What size are these?
15. Don't use a ratchet for now. Loosen this one up.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, good. Raise the engine up just a little bit for me.
Ready?
Yep.
Going up. Going up a little more. Good?
Come on, baby, rotate.
Which way do you need it to rotate?
Counterclockwise. There we go. There we go.
Is it good on the other side too?
Yep.
That side's still in the dowel over there?
Yep, they're both in the dowels.
See, Brendan, if Jeep should have just made this a factory option to have Hemi. Look, it wasn't that hard.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Not too hard. Okay, so this one gets that little bolt.
This little plate that separates the transmission and the engine kind of has a little bit hanging off and overlapping this. Yeah, it's not even touching it. Brendan, we put this thing on upside down.
No, no, no.
The transmission is.
No, no. You're looking upside down.
My eyes are inverted. He is lining up the torque converter to the flex plate, right, Brendan?
Yep.
And then we got to put the bolts in it. So it's kind of like performing rocket surgery or brain science.
Brain science or
No, no, no. It's a heart surgery.
Oh. It's like brain rocket science surgery incorporated.
sounds pretty complicated.
Yeah, that's why he's using a flathead screwdriver. I don't know, man. I think we should be pretty proud of how
should
far
be.
we got.
It's a long process, a lot of things to do.
We've never done this.
No, I mean,
You've done a swap.
Done a
I
swap.
get that, but this
yeah, this is all new.
new.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how everything bolted together.
There's a lot of electronics though too. Yeah, it's way different than a standard swap
No,
because
I know.
it's such a new vehicle.
Yeah, you got to plan that nothing's gonna bolt up.
We've got everything
Yeah.
together. I think we can probably get this. We just ran some of the wiring and the fuel lines there.
Yep. Now we're ready to put it
pretty
in.
close to put this thing in.
Yeah.
We're almost ready right now. You think?
Well, one thing that should be coming up is this engine should be in that JL on the next episode or so. Hopefully, Matt. Hopefully. It's a lot bigger engine, so we gotta take our time, slowly put it in, make sure it clears everywhere, and then see how it fits.